pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to take roll?
Bill Dick,
Present.
Josh Henry,
Present.
and Megan Kane.
Present.
All right, we have a quorum.
Okay, anyone have a chance to look over the minutes from April 1st of 2026? Pretty
Yep.
short and sweet. Any,
Yep. Move a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
all of them? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving on, do we have any old business to discuss? Think so. Okay, new business. Resolution 2026-01, adoption of Whiteland Park and Recreation Master Plan.
So I want to just quickly, obviously, this is our adoption of the comprehensive park plan that we've been working on for the last year. And I want to, before we get into the approval in that, just a couple of things. And I don't know if it's due to how early, I don't think we were looking to have this adopted till later this year, but we got it finished and adopted sooner. It does make us eligible for the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant through the office in the grant year 2026. So that would be something for us to kind of look at once we adopt the plan and take that action tonight. Our new plan, this is good for 5 years. Our next plan would not be due until 2031. And then what I printed out for you all, since it's such a large plan, we don't have the printed copies yet. Until you get the adoption, because your resolution that you approved tonight will go in the plan. But I went ahead and put together, I just printed out the action steps that are identified in the plan. If we want to have further discussion once we all discuss the resolution. From Context Solutions is online if we have questions for her in regards to the plan or the resolution.
You said Maria?
Sure.
Okay. Did you guys have a chance to look at the plan? I looked at it, it's pretty lengthy, 76 pages. You have not.
All these, I am not these action steps, but I've looked at the plan.
I think it's pretty comparable to like what we've seen most of the time. I didn't see any difference. Maria, is there anything that was added or that's in this that we should know about or that's been changed?
So there really are no changes. The only change that you've seen since the previous draft is going to be the input from the last public meeting. And that's included in the public participation section of the plan.
Yep, and we looked at that and talked about that in April, I believe. Perfect. So once, Carmen, this might be a question for you, but once we adopt the plan, what happens then? Like, what's the process typically?
We will provide the signed resolution back to Context, and
Okay.
they will incorporate that into the comprehensive plan. So there's a section that says saved for approval resolution. So they'll put that in there, then they'll give us the printed copies, and then we're good to go. I originally thought maybe that this had to go to the town council.
I thought it did too.
And it does not.
Oh,
But we do have a council meeting next week, so we'll plan to share that the park plan has been adopted, and then it'll be up to you all to figure out next steps, how quickly we take action on some of these steps.
right.
If you recall, our budget in the parks board this year is very small. But it gives us an opportunity to start discussing, and we can start that discussion, like, where do we want to go first? I have an idea what we need to put in next year's budget as far as just to help us get started, and then do we look at the land and water quality grant opportunity, and that probably has a match. So we'll just have to kind of look at what is that? What are we going to be able to do with that? So
Okay.
yeah, and then I just got an email today from Indiana Parks and Rec Association, the IPRA, that that our Whiteland is a member of. And there was a handful of additional grants that I haven't been able to dig into just yet, of funding opportunities for various items. So I think, again, tonight adopt the resolution, and then we can start some brief discussions if you'd like on, where do we go next? We're getting ready to start the budget process for 2027. And we can kind of discuss, I think the first place we need to go is we need to hire a parks director. I really do. And then that person can be responsible for going out and gathering the funding. But the Parks Board is probably not going to be able to fund it, so we'll have to petition that to the town council to fund it through the general fund. Which that can be done, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And that individual also be tasked with the grants and
Yep.
basically finding the money essentially.
Supporting their own salary through, and starting some programming around parks and going after the funding for, starting these action steps.
Okay,
So I won't be able to have the time to do it. So,
makes sense.
okay.
Do you have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about? Sounds like it's really preliminary, but once we pass it, then we can talk more about what that looks like.
I don't have any additional questions for context about anything.
No.
Okay.
Next is a motion.
Well, do we need to open anything up for public comment or anything like that?
I'm not aware of there being any public hearing for this, and as long as that is correct, then no.
Okay, thanks.
I'll go ahead and move motion to approve it.
2026-01.
I second that. All approved? Aye. All opposed? Okay, there you go. It's adopted. Any other items under new business?
I didn't have anything again under new business, no through items, but I wanted to get you all input. If I do put in the budget planning, it would be in the town's budget to fund a parks director. I've looked at various parks directors in other communities, kind of steered clear of the cities. I typically look at all of Johnson County municipalities. They pay their parks directors very well. At Greenwood and Franklin, we won't be able to compete with something like that, but I'll give an example. The town of Bargersville hired a parks director, and now they have part-time staff for this various maintenance and things like that. But they did move forward with a parks director initially, and she was a certified parks director. So it's not like somebody that just likes to do quality of life and parks and amenities and such. And so I don't remember what her starting salary is, but I would say it could be anywhere from, it'd probably be in the 70s for somebody to within like for a smaller town to bring in somebody that has the qualifications to be a parks director, knowing that, again, the park budget is very small. But that was my idea. Is I feel like we need to start with a person that can really truly work on it on a daily basis. Maybe it doesn't start out full time. I think it would be very difficult to find a part-time parks director unless we find somebody that's semi-retired. But that was kind of my thought, as we could petition to the council that we would like a full-time parks director to start with tackling these action steps. And then I think taking the direction from you all on what are the next action steps we can take, and how do we start, getting infrastructure in and the quality of life amenities, where do we start? I've been asked about a community center now for the last 2 weeks, almost on a daily basis. And so again, that's a really big project.
Who are those inquiries mostly from?
So I've actually had an inquiry from a nonprofit that's looking to have a bricks and mortar where they could offer before and after care as well as summer programming and other kind of programming that they offer in another municipality here in Johnson County, but they'd love to expand into somebody else's, bricks and mortar type building in that space. So the town of Edinburgh does something similar, but it's all their staff, where they hire all the daycare providers, and again, it's before and after care. And then they do some summer programming as well. And so Edinburgh does that within their own staffing. Again, it was a very just initial conversation about the desire, and we all know that there's a need for childcare. Right now, I believe the elementary schools they used to have Y-Care, where the YMCA would come down, and then Honey Grove, I believe, still might help with some of the before and after care. But that is, I haven't had conversations with the school, but I know that there's plenty of opportunities for students that they need to go. They need to go somewhere before or after school, before, with parents working and things of that nature. The other one was discussing, does it make sense to have a place where if we have a situation like we did 3 years ago, to have a emergency shelter of sorts. And there's some dollars available through FEMA if we would build a community center of sorts, not saying it would house the all population of Whiteland, but what that could look like, we could have it reinforced in case we needed a storm shelter or some sort of emergency shelter. So that was a conversation that I had today. So, and then just the desire for, whether that be for even our employees to have like a fitness facility and the community to have a fitness facility. So that's, again, that would be biting off a big chunk right away.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this is a community that needs a lot of those things. So.
The third party that came to you, is that a scenario where they help fund some of the project? I would assume.
We would have to talk through that. So like they have program fees that they charge, to the parents and that for the students to participate. It could be kind of a partnership with fundraising, and because they're nonprofit, so they're into corporate sponsorships and things of that nature. It might be something where I don't know that they could truly help fund a whole building, but maybe
Portion of it.
a portion of it that would be specific to the if it was childcare or summer programming, that kind of thing.
We could use that as a cost share for another program.
What's that?
If someone came with funding for something like that.
So I'm all about collaboration and how can we make it happen, and without a lot of the red tape that I feel like we've run into with some of the other collaborative initiatives we've talked about.
I'd have to go back. I was trying to remember based on the public forums that we had, how much interest was gauged toward a community center. I don't know. Do we keep notes on that or any?
They're in the plan,
They're
in the very back in the
Yeah.
appendix. I think that plan with all the pretty pictures, it's like 200 and some pages.
Yeah.
But in the back, we'll have all of the notes and where Context took pictures of all the public input sessions. So you might have to zoom in when you look on the PDF version, but you should be able to see what folks' comments were. And I would look more at the survey, just because the in-person public meetings, I just don't feel like we had a good representation.
There wasn't a lot of dialogue. There was a lot of looking and just.
Right. Oh yeah, I like that. The one thing
I like that, right.
I did say, and this has been my position from the beginning, is to, make whatever we do, make it revenue generating. And that was one thing that the public did say, is they would be willing to pay, something to participate. So it's not we just only want playgrounds that are free to use at any time. They did say they wanted programming in that. So, and that they would be willing to pay some sort of fee of some sort to have that program.
I know we had more interaction and input through our pop-up events
Yeah.
than anything. I know I got several input when we were at the football stadium and then also at the baseball facilities as well. So if we're going out to them to get input, we're able to get it more, right? I wanted to touch base back on that park director. So maybe you can educate me a little bit. So you're looking at, asking the town like, hey, can it be part of that budget, right? What kind of influence does this board have on, I don't know, dictating qualifications for that park director? Like they need to be qualified in this, they have to have this type of certification, they gotta have this X amount of years of expertise. My fear is I just don't want some brand new college kid coming out of a university. Hey, I got a job, I can get in here. What can I do? When we're really trying to establish some really nice facilities or locations or whatever for this town that really needs it.
Right. So one, I would say, I think there's an openness. And so right now, I come up with the job descriptions with department heads or whomever those folks are that have input. So I help to build the job descriptions. So I would, if it's coming out of the town's general fund, I mean, I don't know how much that I would hope that they would be able to like delegate that to you all to say, you get to hire this group now.
Mhm.
I don't know, because if it's your money, you guys can work autonomously from the town council. So I would hope that it needs to be input from you all. It needs to be input from me. I don't think the council would not hire said person. It would be through myself
The town.
and go ahead, Stephen.
No, I was gonna let you finish.
No, well, that's what I was gonna say is that the town council only hires myself and the town marshal. They leave everything else to
The
me.
town director.
But it would just
Okay.
be giving you the funds potentially to do that. But if we go back to that, that's an interesting point, but like, don't you think though that we're so young in terms of a board in a parks department? Like, does it make sense to have somebody who has all these credentials right now? Because it sounds like we also need somebody who's gonna be administrative, like go out and get grant money, paper push. Like, I wanna think about it strategically,
Yeah,
right?
I think we've got to have our hands in all kinds of different buckets, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we need money, right? So we need somebody who's got a lot of experience and
Raising
giving those
money.
grants, raising those monies, that's able to do that. And even, a community person on top of that, right? Somebody that's not a problem, that doesn't meet a stranger out on the street, right? That will just go up and confront businesses or folks or whatever.
That has the experience to do that.
Has the experience to do that,
Yeah.
right? So we need a little bit of that expertise too, but
Mhm.
like, I'm not against young blood coming,
Yeah,
from a university to it, cause, right? But at the same time, we've got to have that experience to be able to really get the ball moving so we can start checking off some of this
well, and
stuff.
we don't know what to do, so we kind of need
Right.
somebody.
Seems like the
We need a hand a little bit.
Yeah.
two most important things seem to be funding and master planning. We can't go into it blindly and just say, let's throw funds at this or that. We need to have a plan going in and,
Right,
prioritize things. And then you gotta have the funds to back that up.
right. Yep, I agree, Dale.
What were you gonna say, Stephen?
I'm gonna add that I've been reviewing the statute, the park board statute, as it relates to this question. And what I would say is the board has certain powers and duties, and they include exercising general supervision of and making rules for the department, and appointing the necessary administrative officers of the department in fixing their duties. That's two things that clearly indicate that the board has authority over department, and I would interpret it as hiring of any department personnel. It also goes on to say, with respect to, it uses the term superintendent, park superintendent, that board can hire point, but it also says that, one, you can't consider any political affiliation.
Mhm.
But more specifically, the superintendent must either be qualified by training or experience in the field of parks and recreation. Now, what that has to entail, that's your job to decide, how much experience and how much training and that sort of thing. Or have a certification or advanced degree in the field of parks and recreation. So there's clearly an expectation that this person would not just be Joe Blow off the street.
Right,
Yeah,
They need to have some kind of experience or credentials.
right.
not somebody's cousin's friend who likes parks.
Yep,
Great,
yep.
got it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And that's where. Let's just say that we can get a director or a superintendent, whatever we end up calling that title. Then. I truly think that where we're gonna get the most engagement is we can create committees, and those can be volunteers. Those can be the volunteers of the community to say, okay, we want something, okay, for youth, for seniors and things of that nature. And that's, Jim's here. I talked to him last night at the farmer's market, and he's very passionate about, some activities and things of that nature. And so it's one of those things where if we can get somebody to just kind of spearhead it and be that day-to-day administrator to help keep things on track, whether that be somebody that's paid that's doing it, whether it be the park board that's doing it, or whether it's a committee. You think of what Discover Downtown Franklin does. Yes, they have a paid staff person, executive director, but everybody else is volunteers. And you see all the festivals that they do. You can't tell if it's a City of Franklin or if it's a Discover Downtown Franklin event. And obviously we're not going to be able to start there, but those types of things just to get that awareness out, the community engagement, and then build from there. And the grant funding, sponsorships, putting the logo on anything that'll stand still long enough, I guess. But yeah, so that's kind of where my vision went with. Let's try to tackle a parks director, getting a paid somebody here on a day-to-day basis to tackle, help you all, or with your guidance where they want to go,
Right.
or where they need to go.
No, it's good information. That's what I was seeking for, because like you said, Megan, we're so young
Yeah.
of a board. It's like, what? We want to do it right the first time, right?
There are through like IPRA, they have job boards, and I can call Chris over at Bargersville, and she came from another parks department in another county. But I mean, even for her to see if she would help to educate us, how did they get started? They didn't have anything. They had started on Kephart Park,
Mhm.
but they didn't have it constructed. And then when they hired her, and then the things she's been able to do, and to set an expectation too on speed, like, of course, we would love to have, again, the community center tomorrow.
Sure.
But that, again, help us kind of, and I'm sure they would be willing to come over and help us. And I think that's where figuring out, networking with other parks boards in the county to discuss, like, how do you do this? Or, where did you get started? Because I've gone to both CHIP in Franklin, I've gone to Franklin, Greenwood, Edinburgh, and talked to all of their park directors way back when this was just a dream. Yeah. So it's something that we have a lot of resources in the county. There's resources across the state, but there's resources in the county that I think they'd be willing to help us
Mhm.
where,
Sure.
we can get some good traction and make sure we're going down the right path.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
So the next step with that would be you taking that position to the town council to talk about financing it, right?
Yep.
Okay,
So we are, like I said, we are just now starting the budget discussions. We've not engaged, we've talked to the council that budget discussions have happened, but we'll have our presentation probably by the July, or at least draft by July. And our goal is to also have the salary ordinance. That's when we would ask for the new position.
Okay.
Is within the salary ordinance.
And obviously our presence would be much appreciated there at the town council, right?
Yeah.
Not a problem.
yeah, not a problem. Be interested to know how prior discussions about position, well, I guess this is the only kind of shoot off board, right, besides
Yeah.
the town council, but.
Well, I mean, there's the stormwater board that,
Mhm. They hired someone, though?
They have not.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Stormwater are the ones that can appoint the MS4 coordinator, but it's been done through like the town manager and that. Land commission technically can hire the building commissioner. There's some, but we don't run it like that. Like those boards don't do the hiring and firing kind of thing. So it is mainly, well, the town council only hires and fires myself, my
Two people.
or the police chief. But I mean, I'm open to other ideas too. And if you think of something and want to shoot me an email, like I said, right now our budget, what's our fund balance is 80 some thousand, and some of that is earmarked where we have to use it in a certain way. So
78.
78,
78,
just
80.
under 80,000.
Is there any like restrictions or any legal stuff or anything like that for us that's me as an individual to go talk to other park and recs and get their thoughts and opinions and how they start up on stuff?
There's nothing legal.
Okay.
I would try and coordinate that with Carmen,
Right.
so you don't step on toes.
Sure.
Like I said, I mean, they've all been super helpful
Yeah.
anytime I've ever reached out to them. And I call Rob Taggart is the director in Greenwood and Chip Warner in Franklin. I've known them both for about 10 or 12 years. So
That's a good point, though. I mean, maybe we talk about like a lunch or, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just thinking like, I mean, just curiosity,
Yeah.
right? Like you were saying,
Or we
like
could go to
how
some other meetings.
Barkersville, like, you know, how did you get it started, Chris, and all that stuff? Like it was just kind of be educational more than anything. That way
let me,
you keep us all on the same page pretty well, right? And I'm saying like
Yeah.
to show that, hey, strength in numbers here. Like we're really wanting to make some changes and some things happen over here.
I can see if Chris is available. Obviously, we'd have to be cautious of quorum. So maybe we can see if she can attend the July meeting.
Sure.
And see if that would be something that either her or, you know, even the town manager or something, or a representative from their parks board to be able to come and educate us how'd you get started.
Sure.
Because they were pretty much, she was their first hire.
How long has she been there?
It might be 3 years now, maybe going on 4 years. So.
Good.
I don't have any further
I
questions.
don't either.
Or
We did good, guys. That was a kind of
I like to put some gasoline on the fire.
no, for sure. Okay, no other new business. Your motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Talk, I don't know.
Oh,
One good for a word.
oh,
I'm Jim Beck. I could stand up. Let me just say.
I think you probably
That's up
should.
to you, but normally we would have to come to the podium at the end.
Yeah, somebody over there.
Yeah. And give your name and address and record.
You wanted to be out here by when?
No,
You're fine.
we appreciate you coming.
I've been around Whiteland since the early '80s, in and out.
Name again.
My name is Jim Beck. I live at 416 West Street. And
Thank you.
Carmen has my address every time I see her. Oh, you're that guy. No. It's amazing. We're fortunate as a town to have her. Just on and off, and I retired last year. We got some projects going on. I have time, and parks have always been a passion of mine. Chip, I've known Chip. Chip and I went through leadership Johnson County back in 2006. He was with Greenwood for quite a few years before he went to Franklin. Good person. Parks and there's too much to get into like right now. And as I was sitting back here, I was here when I don't think this table I think has changed a little bit, but back in the early '80s, there really isn't much in this room has changed. And I asked myself back then, what if they have me get up and want to know who I am and why I'm here? Well, it really comes down to nothing's changed and since the early '80s. Nothing's changed here. This is the same. It all looks the same. I can tell you all the faces. We're back back in the early eighties, and then throughout time, and you get involved, you don't get involved, you get involved in your personal life, and all of a sudden you've got a night that you can sneak away and be 5 minutes late. But nothing, we need to make some changes. You know, if it's, and one thing I didn't hear here is, you know, if we can coordinate and collaborate with the, you know, we've had the softball programs back in the early eighties, and even now, and the parades and the Saturday parade. I mean, that's big stuff in Whiteland every year. You probably did when you were a kid.
I'm on the baseball
There we
board.
go, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's all I would say is, you know, if you need something, let me know. And I don't know exactly what I can commit to and what I can't. Throughout time, I've always been try to say something with parks, you know, stay involved with physical fit. And I was, believe it or not, I got video I can show you. It's hockey playing the hockey yesterday. Yeah, yesterday down in Columbus. I'll be back there tomorrow. So play hockey. And anyway, so.
Well, we appreciate your
If you need
time.
something, let me know. And like I said, I don't want to take a whole lot of time, and it's a huge project, and it's sitting here too. And I have a business background, business degree, and you know, I don't know if that's not enough money for a director. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I don't want to get shot at here, or but we spend a lot of money on a lot of things in this town. And you know, this has been something that we've never, I mean, we have the part, it's all been pretty much self-funded, the softball diamonds and the maintenance and the you know, just like to play the new baseball diamond out here. You know, I said, is that Whiteland? Is it Greenwood? Who is it? Who had it to begin with? Who gave it to who? And I don't know the exact specifics, but I know I just hit some nerve. So, you know, it all needs to be coordinated. It all needs to be pulled together. And maybe, you know, you have some things going on already, pull that into the table. And if $70,000, I mean, quite honestly, in today's world, $70,000 is not a lot of money. You know, I mean, you're going to get what you pay for.
Right.
And I don't know what Chips make. It's all public record, I'm sure, but yeah. Edinburgh, and we've been spending a lot of time in Columbus at the Hamilton Center. That's all city park stuff. First impressions in the last 6 months has been awesome. We go to our family is really into hockey. We go to Carmel, and we go to Perry Park, and all over. And Perry Park is a city park. Fuel tank is private, you know. But anyway, you get the idea. So I appreciate that this has all come up, and I'll go sit back down.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'll just make the comment on Jim's stuff. I think in town of Whiteland, like maybe one of the last ones that have a park and rec department in Johnson County.
The last ones to get it.
Yeah. Or actually have at least something kind of established.
But we're definitely in the sandwich of.
Okay, to call it a park, and there are other communities that have parks but don't have any staff dedicated to it. There's a couple. One
Okay.
our neighbor and down in Trafalgar, they have
Sure.
small parks but don't have any staff for them. So that was but I would say, like, you know, like I said, Bargersville's just getting started. They have over 100 employees total in their whole
Sure.
town. But then we have 16 on the town side and 3 in the clerk treasurer's department. So we have 13 staffed right now. So to add a parks director is going to be a huge step, and they're definitely the right direction, but it's going to be a huge step forward. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think the importance from Jim's comments is that he's going elsewhere
Exactly.
to do stuff.
oh, and
Right.
that's just it. Yeah.
So I mean, I think that hit volumes with me is he's going elsewhere, and we can do stuff here, and nothing's changed in 30 years. So we need to make a change. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is not political. It's not meant to be political, but there's a huge push right now, obviously, and our next generation, you know, the kids in our community, and I mean, we're getting them fed somehow. We're nourishing them somehow. There's services out. But if you look at, again, Parks and Recs, there's, if you haven't started playing baseball, go down to Sierra some weekend, and if you haven't started playing baseball at 2, 3 years old, to make it to the big leagues, it's just not gonna happen. We need those facilities, but where I'm going with that is with the government right now, there's a huge push and there might be a lot of money out there right now. And that's, I mean, it's not my place to go look for that. But there's a huge push right now. I know Michelle Davis, again, I'm not here to get political, and that's not, I know Michelle enough, I can pick up the phone, but it's not like, hey, let's go have lunch. It's not like that. Her and her husband. There's a lot of push right now to get those kids involved in things and at a young age and do things. And schools, that's not happening. If you're not that varsity player, that's, if that's not your thing and you want to just play softball, or you just want to go shoot hoops, where are you going? There's the old park over here in New Island. I mean, and it's nice. I'm through there in a long time, but anyway, there's a lot of government push right now to get those kids out, get them involved in the community. And I don't know, maybe it's some grant money and all kinds of, that's a big.
There's definitely like a lot of lenses to see this through, right? Like athlete, like I'm a transplant to Whiteland, and one of the first things I noticed with my 2 kids when I moved here is I go to Bargersville, which is not difficult, but there's nothing in Whiteland. There's no trails, there's no nothing. And
Right.
I think we're all on the same page that like we're ready to move forward and
Yep.
We've got 2 e-bikes.
excited.
We've got 2 e-bikes and really other than in the town, there's nowhere to ride them.
Yeah.
I've got, I'm not.
I go to Franklin to ride ours. That's where we have to go.
Dollars.
Sorry, Carmen.
At home, and if I don't put them on the back of the truck and go, I have to travel somewhere to use them.
Right.
It's not right.
Right.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
where are you gonna go? Or if you buy a kid a bike today, where are they gonna, other than their driveway safely, what are they?
Well,
Anyway, I didn't mean to be.
No,
Anyway, there's a lot of government focus right now on getting kids involved.
exciting time. Okay, I heard,
Thank you.
Yep.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Jim.
coming and showing up and showing support. I heard a motion to adjourn. Is that still on the table or do we want to talk about anything else?
No, I'm good. I'll second that motion. Yep.
I think I made it. So you seconded it?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Adjourned. I'm doing better, guys. I'm getting better.
Great.
I think you said it was one of the